We are happy today that God is still in the blessing business. We want to welcome you to another edition of the Gospel Talk. I am your host, Pastor Jackie Robinson, and we talk about spiritual things. We talk about the things of this world, this nation, this city. We're in Dayton, Ohio, and we are just blessed to be here today. But one of the things I was looking at, and with the war going on and how it has affected us, and the gas prices, from the gas to the food industry, we're affected in every way. Somebody might ask, how does that affect our spiritual life? And what does that have to do with our spiritual life? When we looked at what was just overturned in the abortion, given the women does not have the rights to make choices. And that's always going to be a controversy. We as Christians, some things that we don't want to get into and some things we do want to get into. If you was to ask my opinion about how do I feel about it, well, my opinion, I will reserve that to myself. Many people have asked me about how do I feel about that being overturned. Well, I think in anything, there's always circumstances that you're asking someone to live with. Now, does that affect my view and how I view it? Well, to some degree, and to some degree not. But one of the things that we look at most is how does it affect us spiritually? Well, we're under attack on every hand. We're under attack in our homes, in our schools, in our cities. Everywhere it feels like we're under attack. Well, those are the things that we're dealing with. One of the things that we're dealing with most is depression. People are more depressed now than they've ever been. And we need God more than we've ever needed him. But it's funny that sometimes we rather take our problems to a counselor. We rather take our problems to friends. But the best counselor that I know is prayer, is God. Is, when I was in the darkest moment in my life, some years ago in 2016, I lost my daughter and grandson in a fire on Palm Sunday of all days. And I never forget when I got that call, how I felt. Yes, I went into a dark state for a little while, but my faith, my belief, people were asking me, do you think you need counseling? Do you need someone to talk to about this? And I know who to talk to, and I know he's going to take me through it. At the same time that when it happened, I was preparing to do my own children's eulogy, my grandson and my daughter's eulogy. But God will give you strength. That's what we have to believe in, that God will give you strength. And my Christian friends, I don't want you to give up. When you see the things that's going on in life, you may have problems with your children, your loved ones, your friends. You may be going through financial issues. But I know that God is able to keep you from falling. Christian friends, hold on to your faith. Find a church of your choice. And I want you rooted and grounded. Get active. I love music. Music is therapy for me, my Christian therapy, gospel music. I love jazz. There's music that I just love. But when we're faced with the difficulties that we're faced with today, where we have mothers that don't know how they're going to feed their kids, we're faced with difficulties today to where I was dealing with a situation to where a mother had just lost her son through gun violence. We're having all these things that our government seems like they're not even paying attention to, that as long as everyone else is happy and our Fifth Amendment right to be able to bear arms but does that mean that we don't need to put more controls and restrictions on this? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We need to figure out a plan that's going to best fit everyone, But what we are scared to talk about is the things that affect us the most. When every time I heard about the gun violence, everyone that was killed, in the recent months through gun violence, my prayers and my hearts go out to them. We need a day of prayer throughout this world, a day of prayer for our government and this nation, a day of prayer for the gun manufacturers. In my opinion, there's certain weapons, and I know folks are not going to like this. Every weapon that the gun manufacturers make don't need to be in the hands of everybody, or people should be able to walk in the store and just get them. Just in Ohio alone, we see that our governor passed a bill to where we have the stand your own ground rights. Well, that just makes it more difficult for us. It hurts us more and more. But I say that at this time, we just need to give it over to God, and God will work it out. I'm glad today that God is working in our favors, that he's still working in the churches. And as we begin to go back to our churches, let us be faithful. Let us build up our churches, our pastors, our community leaders, so that they can continue to do what pleases God and please the church and the body of Christ. I'm excited today what God is doing. God has blessed us. One of my longtime friends is here today, and we get a chance. What I was excited about 2 years ago when we first started talking about doing the show, one of the guys that we talked with was the legendary Rance Allen. And this show is a tribute to him, because he's done so much to the gospel industry and to everyone out there. We're happy about that. But one of the other ones that I work with, because I knew that at that time, even when me and Rance talked about it, that he might be traveling a lot. But one of the other guys that I had an opportunity to talk to was my good friend, John T. Ruffin. He is the CEO of Rough Boy Records Music, and he's in the studio with us today. We're going to take a break for just a few minutes, and we're going to be back with him. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Hey, we're back. God bless you. God bless you. We're here with my good friend, John T. Ruffin, amen, CEO of Rough Boy Music. Hey, what's going on today?
Man, I feel
God
blessed.
bless. Man, what? Hey, you know what? This is an honor to have you, man.
Man, I'm blessed to be here.
Blessed.
I'm blessed to be here.
One of the things that I'm going to start off with, I remember not too long ago, you had a serious bout with COVID.
I did. I stayed in the hospital for 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
This shows you what God can do. I remember running into you at the music. I think it was the gospel festival at Pleasant Green. What was it?
I think so.
Yeah, he was at Pleasant Green, and I could tell he had been sick, and he told me that he had come down with COVID. But we know God is a healer.
I'm here.
And he's here. He's doing well and looking well, back on the road, traveling, and doing what he does best, and that's music.
I love it.
Oh, he loves it. Tell me a little bit about Rough Boy Records.
Rough Boys Records was established back in 2018 with our first artist, the legendary Howard QC's.
Oh my God,
Spencer Taylor.
You know what? It's we had the pleasure of having them at Valley Peace.
Yes.
And you know what was so funny was I remember that call that you called me up that day, and we were having our church Christmas dinner. And he asked, could he use the church for a few minutes? And he said that he had the legendary Spencer Taylor. And I was just in awe, like, what? And he said that they wanted to do a recording. And I said, well, the church won't be available till almost 9 o'clock. And they agreed to do it. And I remember pulling up to the church and seeing Spencer Taylor's bus. That was truly a blessing.
Yeah.
I saw that bus pulled up over there, and I was like a kid in a candy store.
You. That was a great day. It was during Christmas time. So, yeah, man, that was my introduction back into quartet music.
And you know what was the blessed part about it? It was right at Christmas. I think it was about a week before Christmas. Is that right?
Yeah, week before Christmas.
Because we had, and what made it so wonderful, that we had the church already decorated.
Already decorated with the big
So we-
thing and the ribbon in the back.
We had the ribbon, so it was a perfect backdrop.
Perfect backdrop.
It was a perfect backdrop. And matter of fact, what was so funny was I called Rance Allen that day, and I said, "You'll never believe who's here." And Rance said, "Who's there?" I said, "Spencer Taylor." And you know what? I had never seen Spencer Taylor in person.
Oh, wow.
That was so I was really excited, and I had never seen him in person. And his sons came into church, and they were walking around, and I'm looking for Spencer Taylor, John Teese. I'm looking for him, and I said, "Is he here? Is he here?" And they said, "He's standing right over there."
Oh, man.
And it was, I mean, even though he's small in stature,
He's so cool.
right? He was cool. He was leaning up against the wall, and I'm like, "Oh my God, that's him."
And so, and for him to be 94 years old and still out there testifying, I think he's the only one right now that's out there.
You know what? I do believe you're
Yeah.
right that he is the only one that's out there, but it was such a pleasure
Yeah.
to be able to host your first video. Is it correct?
My first video.
Oh, wow. We're able to host your first video, and even though it was late at night, what a crowd
We
that
had a
came
nice
out.
crowd.
Had a nice crowd that
And
came out.
Nice crowd, beautiful crowd, and to be honest with you now, that video went viral.
Oh, my God.
It went
yes.
viral all over Facebook, YouTube. It took off, and that record for them went all over the country. They was on tour for a while.
Wow. And you know what? I love just doing it, even though, I remember us recording the video. And what was so funny, we're recording this video, and I think we had so many takes, and it took about an hour, and I'm like, okay, I wonder how this video is going to be. And so thank you so much, because he sent me the link to it.
Yeah.
And I opened up the link, and it was only like 7 views at that time he opened it,
Yeah.
because he said, it just got out there. And I watched it, and I was just like in awe. You did such a great job. And I understand that you brought that with you today.
I did.
Oh, that's great. You know what? He brought that video with him, and we have more stuff from him, but he brought that video with him. And I want you to lead us into tell us about the video that we'll be seeing.
This is a labor of love right here. This is one of my first videos that I did since I came back to Quartet Music, about the legendary Howard QCs, entitled "He Picked Me Up," Rough Boys Music Group.
Here we go.
Now go ahead and turn this one up. It's time to have some church with the Highway QCs. I was sinking deep in sin, far from the peace for sure. But he lifted me, then he picked me up. Every state within, sinking to rise no more. But he lifted me, then he picked me up. And now I'm lifted, said the Lord. He picked me up, yeah. Yes, sir. Now I want y'all to help me welcome the Godfather himself, Mr. Spencer Taylor Jr. Come on.
Amazing grace,
Yes, sir.
how sweet the sound. He lifted. Yes, he did. I once was lost, y'all, but now I'm found. But he lifted me. Yes, he did. He lifted. God lifted me. Listen to me. I'm in the Lord, y'all. I'm lifted. Let God lift you. Hey, hey.
Now come on, y'all. Let's have some church in here.
wow. Well, I was there, and what a time we had. You know, I just want to say you did a fantastic job, and on that video, that has truly been a blessing. Every opportunity I get, I watch. I watch it. It went viral. Part of it probably because of me. I just couldn't stop watching it.
Great video. I love the lady with the tambourine.
Oh yeah,
I
yes.
kept telling her, focus on her. You know, I love that. She was getting
Yes.
into it.
Beautiful video. I mean, for your first project, that was awesome. That was an
Right.
awesome project, and we are grateful today that Rough Boy Music is doing well. And tell us about some more things you're doing.
Well, the recent project we have now is we have a new project out called Rough Boys Radio, and it features Spencer Taylor, Marvin Winans,
Okay,
the
great.
Humble Sons of Dayton, Pastor James Harden, the McDuffies, Cross Family, Doc McKenzie.
Doc. Oh, if y'all haven't heard Doc, I mean, all of those are legends. But
Doc?
But Doc is Doc McKenzie. Doc McKenzie and the Gospel Highlights. Oh my
yes.
God. Oh my God. I watched them when I first got into the music industry, and I'm also too. You know what? I hate to say it. I'm a quartet junkie.
Okay, ain't nothing wrong with that.
You know, I love quartet. I mean, that's really how I got my start in quartet music.
Right.
That's what brought me to church and listening to it, music, and I played R&B a little bit before I got in church. My father, he gave me a choice: either finish school or get out, because I wanted to play music.
Right.
But I'm glad that I did what I did, but I never gave up on my dream. I did have an opportunity to tour for a little while with some gospel groups, and now I'm able to supply sound for a lot of them and give them an outlet or a venue to come and share their gift with us. Our church is always open for young talents such as gospel artists trying to get their start. In fact, now, John T., one of the things, it was a young man that came to our church that saw that video that you produced, and he knew that it was done in Dayton.
Wow.
So he was with some other group from out of town. I can't recall what group he was with, but he walked in there to hear another group, and he said that he just wanted to step on the stage because he knew how many gospel greats had been through that church.
That's awesome.
And that is awesome, because when you think about stuff like that people think about, wow, if I could just step on the stage, that I know that also Rance Allen set foot on it, that Spencer Taylor, some of the other gospel greats has come through our church. And we've had a lot, even though we're a small building, we've had a lot of great artists. George Dean from the Gospel
Yes.
Four, a bunch more. I just can't recall them all now, but all of them had set foot. And for somebody to come into your church and say, I saw this church on TV, Facebook, YouTube.
Wow.
I just want to stand on the stage. And it reminded me that when I was young, I would listen to all the musicians and go to there, and I felt, that if I could just step on that stage.
Yeah.
So I think all of us that have ever inspired to be a musician, or it's something about, it's kind of like that man that sit by the pool for 38 years. He said, if I could just.
Right, and I was the same way growing up. I grew up on all the greats, Joe Ligon, Spencer Taylor. I've seen all the greats, and I'm like, wow. Swanee Quartet, which I produced too.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a number 5 Billboard with them. So
Wow.
and also Doc McKenzie was one that I wrote a song for called Just Ask, and that song was all over the country.
Oh, you know what? And speaking of Doc McKenzie, I've had the pleasure of meeting him so many times. One of my favorite groups, and I'm looking forward to bringing on our show and interviewing. I would love to bring them. They are go wherever they're at, and I would love to interview Jackson Southern Airs.
Oh yeah. Oh,
You know,
yeah.
Huey
Legendary.
Williams, legendary.
Legendary.
I'd like to, if we could go out one day and while they're on tour and they're close, I know our network would agree that we could put them in, interview them, and Doc McKenzie, Shirley Caesar. If y'all hear this, we would love to bring you on a show. This is going to be a new way. One of the shows that I liked growing up was Bobby Jones.
Oh yes.
Bobby Jones Gospel. I love Bobby. Oh, I love Bobby Jones. I look forward to seeing Bobby Jones on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
One of my favorite preachers was G.E. Patterson. Oh my God.
Yeah, I should watch it.
And when I found out G.E. Patterson was Rance Allen's pastor,
Right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
oh my God. And to his wife, before I forget, we love Dr. Ellen Allen, and we want to just give you some praise, that every time we do something, we will make sure that your contributions to this show so that we can continue to do God's will. But I'm looking forward. I've Kurt Franklin, John P. Key, which is a good friend of the Allen family. And we're just looking for some great things. And we're going to have more videos, and he's going to bring more up-and-coming groups so that they can use this as a platform to do what they need to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Especially our own, the Humble Son.
Oh, my God.
The Humble Son.
The Humble
we were
Sons.
just talking about that.
Wow. The Humble Sons, Humble Sons, what we love about the Humble Sons, their family, well, the majority of them are member of Valley Peace Church. So they just did an outdoor concert a few weeks ago, beautiful concert. And so they're doing great things. And they also did a live video at our church. So tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break for a couple of minutes, and we'll be right back. God bless you.
Food is so important to us. It is integrated in so many aspects of our lives. When we celebrate holidays, we invite family and friends over for a homemade meal. When there's a time of celebration, we have food catered in. We gather over dinner to talk about our day with loved ones, and we work hard to make sure our families have the food they need for healthy lives. But what if you're struggling to buy food or make ends meet? What do you do to get by?
If you find yourself working for low wages or working part-time, if you are in between jobs, if you're elderly, disabled, or homeless, then you may be eligible for food assistance, like SNAP.
SNAP stands for Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program and is formerly known as food stamps. It helps struggling families and individuals afford food at the grocery store.
SNAP helps cover your costs for groceries and can be used to buy fish and meat, fruits and vegetables, cereal and bread, baby food, milk, and even seeds to grow your own food. If you'd like to check your eligibility for SNAP, the Food Bank can help. Call us at 937-461-0265, extension 18, or visit us at thefoodbankdayton.org/OBB.
So many of us are just one crisis away from needing a helping hand.
Reach out so you and your family have enough food on your table.
Again, call us at 937-461-0265, extension 18, or visit us online at thefoodbankdayton.org/OBB.
Because no one should go hungry.
God bless you. We are just having a good time with the maestro, John T. Ruffin, and Bad Boy Music. We are just, we're in the studio today, and we're just having a great time. And we're looking forward to doing so much stuff with him, so many things with him. And he has so many artists and so much talent. And, as I was saying just before the break, that one of our favorite shows growing up was the show. One of my favorite artists and gospel shows was the Bobby Jones Show. And Bobby Jones introduced so many talent. And I was looking at one not too long ago, and an old run of him, And he had, believe it or not, Tim Rogers, which is one that we've had the pleasure of working with some years ago. We're grateful to him. But, you know, I'm going to talk to John T. some more about some of the artists that he's looking forward to bringing on the show, and that we can, the young talent.
Oh yeah, I mean I have a variety. Matter of fact, Minister Leroy Purtle,
Okay.
he did a song with Dre Tate and a young up and coming producer named KJ called God Did It. We got a music video for that. I'm definitely gonna bring that to you. And then you know, we got the McDuffie family out of the Carolinas.
Now, you know, the McDuffie family, they lost one of their, two of
They
them?
lost two brothers.
Two brothers.
Right. So and they're still going strong.
They're still going strong. Great.
Right now, they have a record right now that we did on them last year with Bishop Darrell McFadden. That went #1 in the country. Matter of fact, that Legacy project is still one of the biggest quartet projects out today.
Oh, that's great.
So it's still going strong.
Okay, well, that's great. I look forward to seeing him. And one of the other gospel greats was the Supreme Seven,
Supreme Angels.
the Supreme Angels, and it was the Supreme Seven as well. Do you?
I never got a chance to work with Supreme Seven, but
Okay, the Supreme
I do
Angels?
know the Supreme Seven, but it's Supreme
Okay.
Angels. We had a song I wrote called "Never Leave You Alone," and that did real well. For a matter of fact, we have a video on that too.
Okay.
So I make it a habit to do a video of my artists, and you know I try to make sure that we're putting out great content not only for their generation, but I'm trying to catch a whole nother generation of quartetters, so this genre of music would never die.
Okay, could you tell me, I know that gospel music has changed a lot down through the years. It's like would you say it's a mixture of contemporary and quartet?
Yes.
Okay.
And I made it my habit to do such. I want to incorporate both. So when you hear a song like "Press Your Way Through" by the Humble Sons, or when you get a legendary group, like artists like Doc McKenzie with Just Ask, I mixed the old with some of the new. So that's what the new sound that you're getting now.
Okay. And I'm not sure, are you familiar, I think it's D. Morton?
I love. Oh yeah, they call him Chubbs.
Chubbs, okay.
But it's D. Morton.
So can you tell me anything about D. Morton that you...
This guy, he's definitely one to look out for. He's definitely stepping up and taking quartet to another level.
And you know what? I think I was watching some of his videos, and I'm sure we can feature him
Oh, yeah,
at some
sure.
point. But I was watching some of his videos, and he patterned after his voice. Paul Beasley, is that? who
I
it
would
was?
say so. And he took it a little bit step farther with how he's doing it, man. Like he captivates the audience, man. So he's doing a phenomenal job right now in getting to going to the next plateau, man. And I salute him. I mean, I really do.
Hey, I salute him, and like I said, I'm looking forward to some of these other ones. But I've been listening to him. I spent hours, I will say, just on YouTube,
Right.
listening to a lot of the gospel, a lot of the new artists.
Oh yeah.
You know, I was, and one of the things I admire about how quartet is changing, it's kind of funny, because I remember when I was in quartet, we had tuxedos.
Oh Lord.
We'd go out and rent tuxedos. Well, you know, maybe I'm telling my age, but we would rent tuxedos.
With the bow ties, and the
With the bow
collarbone.
ties, the collar.
Yeah, we did. I have pictures, but I try to hide those pictures.
Oh my God. Now, you know what? Before I forget, one of the things, your father is a great gospel singer
Oh,
and
yes.
artist. And if y'all think that name sounds familiar, Ruffin, tell us about that name.
Well, that name is famous for two reasons. David Ruffin of the Temptations.
David Ruffin?
That's family.
Okay.
That's family. And Jimmy Ruffin.
Oh my,
Two
yes.
brothers.
Okay.
And then they had another brother named Quincy. So, yes. And now his son, David Jr., he's stepping up. And they also have a group called the Sons of Motown now. So they doing like a review. All the sons,
Okay.
all of them come together. They're doing like a review of the fathers.
Okay. Well, see, now it's good to have this type of talent in history. This is tied. Rough Boy music is tied to a lot of history, from the R&B to gospel, to all of that. That is great. Destined. It was destined for success. So David Ruffin, I definitely remember him from the Temptations. Wow, it's good to have you here. But we are looking forward to so much gospel music, so many artists. Gospel music have evolved in so many different ways. It has. It's not like it used to be, and it's no longer so. Y'all made me come out of that tuxedo. I still got that tuxedo hanging up in my closet. What am I supposed to do with that tuxedo now? I mean, I still got the ruffled shirt. I'm looking, and I was ready to go get my guitar. You know.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
I was ready to go get my guitar, and I was gonna see if I could join with Rough Boy.
Oh, man. We got room, man. We got
Okay,
room.
well, I mean, I can sit up now. I might look out of place. You don't think nobody gonna laugh at me, do
Oh,
you?
man. Just do it, Doc. Just come
do
on
it.
with it.
I'll kind of refrain. But what I was getting at is how the attire, how the look of gospel music has changed. Back when remember, it was a lot of older gentlemen.
Yes.
Now we got, explain, how are we attracting the younger audience or the younger musicians to tie that new sound in? How are you doing that?
Well, the new sound definitely is what's attracting the younger generation to quartet, to gospel music, period. And we definitely want to bring in that audience, because we don't want this genre of music to die. We want to keep this music going long after you're gone, long after I'm gone. We want it to live on. So definitely bringing the urban edge, like far as the outfit, we longer wearing suits. I mean, I don't mind the suits, but you know, I'm trying to reach the youth where they are.
Right.
Because some of them never heard of Christ.
Right.
And I want to be able to get to their level, say, hey, look at me. I've changed, and I'm bringing you a message of hope and of love. And this is how we're doing it. You know, we're not taking away the message. We just add a little flavor to it, you know?
And I think,
that's it.
and I love that. That's why I enjoy having you here, because we have so many that we need to reach.
That's it.
We have so many that we need to reach. We want to reach our young people through the gospel. That doesn't mean that we're going to just take away your rights and want you to, you know, as one would say, just Bible thumpers and all that. We want you to be able to enjoy yourself, enjoy your life, but we also want you to have a relationship with Christ. If this becomes the avenue to bring you into church or to the Word of God, we need to use anything necessary so that we can do this. It's important that we bring our young people. We're losing our young people at such an alarming rate that we need something to bring them back. And every time I hear of another shooting, it was just a shooting not too long ago where a young man was shot over 60 times by the police. You know, we have to address this. I solicit the pastors all around the country that we start addressing this. And not only just that violence, the violence that happens in our community every single day. That's, you know, churches was put in neighborhoods for a reason. They were put in neighborhoods to basically spiritually address everything. And that's what we want to do today It started addressing everything in our neighborhoods, in our homes, in our schools. The biggest institution that we had in our community was the church. The biggest thing that we had going was the church. And it's funny that that's the least thing now. That has taken a total turn. So if you know someone that's unchurched, unsaved, invite them to church. Churches, we have to look at how do we draw young people back into our church, back to where we can pull them back. I'm blessed to have Brother Ruffin with me, that is a young man that is using his means to bring young people back in. And how do we do that? We do that through music. Music is a universal language. Somebody said the other day, well, Pastor, some music don't belong in church. They were listening to it. And, I answered that. I says, the only thing that changes music is the lyrics. And when the lyrics, they change, that changes the whole dynamics. I was with some friends the other day, and we were at, believe it or not, at a church that was a hard rock church. I'd never heard, John T., of a hard rock church.
Wow.
Hard rock. And
Interesting.
he said, I said, what? He asked me, did we have music? I said, yes. And he said, I attend a hard rock church. I said, what? I attend a hard rock church.
Wow.
And I was like, no way. What's your take on a hard rock church? I know you've never heard of that.
I never heard of it, but I mean, I would love to see it. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. I mean, like you said, music is a universal language, and I believe that's going to be our bridge to bring people to Christ. And that's my view on that.
Hey, tell you what, we thank you. We're going to take another break. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere.
YWCA Dayton is on a mission to eliminate racism, empower women, and promote peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. Since 1870, YWCA Dayton has protected and advocated for some of our community's most vulnerable individuals, including battered women and their children, victims of sexual assault and human trafficking, women at risk of homelessness, and girls in marginalized populations. These services are offered free of charge, regardless of race, health, or background. YWCA Dayton provides the only domestic violence shelters and rape crisis center in Montgomery and Preble counties, offering a full safety net of trauma-informed crisis support services. This includes the Miami Valley's longest-running 24/7 crisis and domestic violence hotline, 937-222-SAFE. YWCA operates 4 housing programs that help stabilize and shelter women at various ages and stages, from those exiting our domestic violence shelters to women who have experienced chronic homelessness and trauma. All of our housing programs provide wraparound support to strengthen life skills, secure employment, and develop a network of supportive and empowering relationships. YWCA hosts youth development program called Girls Lead, which encourages, motivates, and empowers all girls to develop holistically with strength, courage, and wisdom. Girls Lead offers a safe place for girls to express themselves, instills a love of learning, helps counter stereotypes, and builds skills and self-confidence for healthy, successful futures. In the 1800s, YWCA Dayton became the first YWCA in the U.S. to open a branch for African American women and girls. This marked the start of more than a century of work for racial justice and equality, with a particular focus on the intersections of race, gender, and poverty within our own community. Today, we advocate for public policy and legislation that supports racial and social justice, and we advocate for an end to discrimination against women in every sphere. At its core, our mission is simple: to preserve and restore the dignity all women deserve. To learn more about our critical work, visit ywcadayton.org.
We're back. God bless you. We were right in the middle of talking about, before we went on break, we were right in the middle of talking about hard rock. That I met a guy that went to a church and they did hard rock. Now, we will have some hard rock artists, gospel artists. And just like we take our songs and sell them to music, and they've taken some of their songs and set them to music and to gospel music. And it's a wonderful thing. You know, they play the guitars, they have everything. And how we worship God, it may be a little bit different from how someone else worships, but we worship the same God. We worship the same God. And we thank God for it. And however we do our communication with God to bring people to Christ, and we are at a point in our life and that we need him. We need him. We're having everything happening every day, and we want to make sure that we understand that God is still in charge. Now, we're going to go back to our guest today. We are excited about having him, the CEO of Rough Boy Records, John T. Ruffin.
Yes, sir.
Tell me some more about this wonderful gospel label. And
Oh man. Right now we actually switched over. We're doing some choirs now too. So we just involved choirs. We have a new artist called Pastor One, Outlet Worship. They got a song that I helped ink a little bit. So that's going to be hitting the airwaves sometime this week.
okay.
So, and also a music video to follow. So y'all look for that. They out of New Orleans. So it's gonna be a challenge. I got a lot of work ahead of me.
Uh-huh.
A lot of work.
Well, that is great. That is great that you have so much work ahead of you, and that no matter what, that we're going to continue to do the work and the will of God. And I'm looking forward to doing that, that no matter what's going on, that we're going to continue to work. I'm looking forward to some more great things.
Oh, yes, sir.
And looking forward to some of these artists coming in person and being on set. And we're going to do some live remote sets. And my friends, that we continue to do the will and the works of God. As we close out today's show, you know what? I'm excited about what's coming up today. In the next couple of weeks, we have the play that was written by our good friend and the producer of this show, believe it or not, Cortez Jackson. And it's called The Pandemic. Amen. You know what that is. We just came out of it. And it's going to be at Shiloh Church. It's going to be on August 27th at 4 p.m. Doors open at 2 p.m. August 26th, 7 p.m. Doors open at 5 p.m. Now, watch these tickets. You can get tickets, 2 for $35. It's kind of like having a buddy pass. You can bring you and a friend. And if you don't have no friends, find a friend. And say, look, if you pay half, I pay half. Because if you get the tickets by themselves, they're $25. But if you get a friend, you can save a little money. And in these days, we all need to save a little bit of money. Because I need some money to go to this show, even though I'm going to be there. But do somebody a special favor. Buy them a ticket. This show is in Dayton, Ohio. And I know we got people from all over the world watch it, all over the country. Hey, why don't you take a vacation? You know, there's plenty of hotels around. Come down for the weekend. There's a lot of things to do in Dayton. Come on down and just spend the weekend with us wherever you're at. If you call us, we'll make sure. But the ticket information, you want to call 937-401-0585. So give them a call, and they can set you up with some tickets, and you could probably buy the tickets. They'll tell you how to get your tickets online through Facebook or however you want to, but please come. But again, we want to thank you. We want to thank our guests today, amen, for being here. And we are just grateful that God is still in the blessing business. As we close today, we want you to know that you are blessed. Your steps are ordered by the Lord. And no matter what you're going through, it may not look good at this time, but it might be for your good. And one of the things I used to teach my children all the time, what did you learn from yesterday that's going to help with you today? Continue to give God the praise, continue to do the work of God, and let us not forget there's plenty of good gospel music, and we look forward to it. To all the ones that made this possible, God bless you. God bless all of you. We want to again thank DATV, our producers, our hosts, that we continue to work for the Lord. God bless you. See you next time.
Make a Star Productions presents The Pandemic, the stage play, in memory of Sharon Johnson. Beautifully scripted with an all-star cast, this is one event you don't want to miss. With both VIP and general admission tickets on sale, buy one get one free, you can buy your ticket and invite a friend too. So don't miss out on such a star-studded event. With showings on both August 26th and August 27th, you should probably go get your tickets today before they're all sold out. For ticket information, please call 937-401-0585 or 937-717-1748. This event will be held at Shiloh Church at 5300 Philadelphia Drive in Dayton, Ohio. Make a Star Productions presents The Pandemic, the stage play. Hope to see your face in the place.
Bobby Jones.
Cut. Cut.
Okay, we cut.
Okay, cut that.
Got tied up.
That's why I have the notes. Okay, I'm ready. Ready.
All right. 2, 3, 1.